Halito, everybody. Halito, welcome back. Welcome back. This is CT over the NYC Indian. And today we are going to be talking about the premiere of the brand new show based on polyandry, which is the practice of women having multiple husbands called Seeking Brother Husbands. I came on last night on TLC. I've been excited for just months waiting for the show to come on. I hope everybody's doing well. Good to see everybody. Hopefully, I'll be able to see chats. If you got, hey Susan, good morning, girl. Finally, I got this technology together. My God, so I'm so happy that you're here, Susan, that I can actually see your chat. So you can let me know, if you have some opinions or anything, or if my sound or anything is off. So anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. Enough of the chit chat. All right, guys. So the first couple or the first family I should say I should talk about is all right, the first one is Elisa. Hmm? Oh, okay. Elisa and Mike, right? So she is seeking a second husband. And we can already see that Mike is like not having it, right? And they're, I forget where they oh, they're in Los Angeles. So apparently she was cheating when they dated, and then decided, you know what, hey, maybe why don't I just go ahead and open this up and just have a polyamorous relationship. But she didn't mention anything about polyamory for her husband. It's only for her. So this is kind of interesting, but he doesn't seem to be down with it. And when the other person is not okay with it, that's usually when it's like, I don't know. Would I like your sunshine you put in there, Susan. And all I can say, this is going to be a crazy show. Yes. And I just want to start off to let everybody know, okay, I'm a feminist, you guys. I'm very inclusive to, alternative lifestyles and things like that. Sometimes I judge, sometimes I don't. Now, this is like the companion show to Seeking Sister Wives, which I felt was, I love to review it because I always want the women to leave the men. But I cannot say that this is an equal kind of situation, because first of all, when women are in those type, let's just say Seeking Sister Wives, if you guys watch that show, a lot of these times these women have kids, they're kind of like brainwashed, it looks kind of cultish and stuff like this. This is a little different with the women, because women, hey, listen, I mean, the guy is free to leave, right? He can still get a job, and usually the kid will stay with the mom or whatever. So it's a different power dynamic. So that's why I'm not so as anti, but I'm not really sure that I'm totally pro at the same time. So I'm somewhere in the middle, but I am just so excited, so excited to be able to review the show with you guys. So let's go to the next couple. So they're in Houston, and okay. This couple, this family is like probably one of the craziest families, and they're the one that's on the thumbnail. So the woman's name, her name is Kenya, and her husband is Carl, and they've been married for 26 years. Okay, and now they have brought in Tiger, who is not her husband, but someone who is like in a, they're just like in a long-term relationship, and they've been together for about 10 years. So apparently, Kenya and Carl were married for about 12 years when they started to have this conversation. Or, of course, obviously, Kenya brought this up to Carl. And Carl, he's a very laid back, quiet kind of guy. I'm surprised he was for it, but maybe he was just like, the hell with it. I don't want to break up my family. And if she wants to go off, I can, go off and do my own thing. I mean, it doesn't sound so far like he is sleeping with other people. This show, it seems like the women are the only ones that are being polyamorous in these relationships. So after about 2 years of the discussions, so they were married for 12 years, and then about 2 years later, they said that they finally had come to some kind of agreement or whatever. And she was out there. She seems like a little hot to try. You know what I'm saying? Like just not really happy with just one person to begin with, but whatever. And she met Tiger at some party. So the next thing you know, they start dating, and then he moves in, and now they are living in now I want to say it's a 2-bedroom apartment. And I mean, so yeah, it's a 2-bedroom apartment. So Carl, the husband, has his own room, and he looks like he can't even be bothered with the rest of them, right? And then Tiger and Kenya have been sharing the same bedroom for 5 years, right? So I called How to Lose My Husband, How to Lose My Husband to a Husband, right? I mean, my husband was watching that show. He was like looking at me like, "Don't get any ideas." I'm like, "Don't worry." Listen. My husband. That's one person enough that I got my hands full. I don't imagine how people manage this, but the thing to me that really that stood out to me with Kenya was that Kenya's just like out there dating. So I'm not really sure why this necessarily is a polyamorous or polyandry thing because I thought at first that it was just her and Carl, her first husband, and then this other guy Tiger. But Tiger, from what I understand, they're not married, and he wants to marry. He wants her to get married, and he doesn't want to be with other people either. So, and now he's nervous because she's about to move out of their bedroom that they've shared together for the past 5 years. She wants her own bedroom, and it's this is really crazy. This is really, really crazy. Would you say mine and how do you watch this nonsense? Girl, I have no idea. I can't answer that question for you, Susan. So now we get to so they're in Houston. And which is also ultra interesting because a few of these couples or some of these couples are based out of the South. And I can only imagine how difficult it must be, especially because we're talking about geography. So we're talking about Bible Belt. And then you add on the top of the fact that they're Black American. So then there's all these cultural expectations, the church, and all of this stuff. That's why, you know, I just cannot. This is just so mind blowing. I'm gonna do my best to get through this little what do you call it, through this video here. So now let's take a look at the next couple. So the next couple is they're in Asheville, North Carolina, and they are Kim and Dustin. So they've been together for 13 years and they have a blended family. So this is his second marriage, is also her second marriage, and she was his professor. So apparently she had to get permission to, once she found out that he liked her, she had to get permission to be able to date him. And I'm like, wow, your professor. That is interesting. Okay, but these are obviously people who don't follow, the society's expectations or expected rules or whatever. So then so Dustin, he's divorced as well. And here's the thing. So then they introduce Vincent. Okay. Vincent he's 36 years old, twice divorced. Okay. And they were all living together. And this is also interesting because we're talking about people that are on their second. In fact, I think they've all been married 2 times. So Vincent is twice divorced. And okay, so Kim and Dustin, this is their second marriage. So if Vincent were to marry, what's her name, Kim, then that would be his third marriage and their second and a half marriage. I don't even know how that works. It's just nuts. So, oh, hi, Barbara. How are you from British Columbia? Girl, listen, you're my neighbor, Barbara. I'm in Seattle. You're right there. Oh my God, that's so cool. So we have similar weather, I expect. So, oh my God. So in Canada, I'm assuming you were able to watch this. I don't know how you watched it, but thank you so much for joining. Yeah, so okay, so yeah, this just really kind of got me because okay, the whole dynamic, listen, we're over here talking shit. Okay. This is what we do on YouTube. All right. So Vincent is this good looking tall Black guy, right? You wouldn't expect him. I mean, it's just not common that you would see a man that looks like him in a couple situation that's quite like this. He's so soft spoken and he's kind of meek and mild. And it is just and she's got, I mean, honey, she is wrapped around his finger. You're near Vancouver. Okay. Oh my God, that's so cool. That's so cool. So, yeah, so then we see Vincent. He's almost like a battered victim or something. He's just like so kind of like withdrawn and into himself and stuff like that. And I don't know. Like, so what are the rules for this kind of thing? Does it usually take a man that would be more charismatic and is completely secure, therefore he doesn't mind someone else? Or does it take someone who's like so shy, who can't speak up for themselves and will kind of let somebody walk all over them? Because that's what it's looking. The latter is looking like the situation with Vincent. Okay, so I don't even know like this is fascinating. Oh my God, this is such good TV, guys. This is such good TV. All right, let me move on. So now we have okay, so now we're back with Kenya and her family. Or no, is this Carla? No, Kenya and her family. So yeah, so she's talking about how she wants to have her own like her own room or whatever, and they seem to have pretty independent lives. And she loves her independence. It's just crazy to me that she's just out there dating. Like I didn't really like it. Just seemed like, I mean, maybe I guess because it's so much as someone who's not polyamorous. I guess it's so much to digest that someone already has two spouses and no one is okay. So this is my little mantra when it comes down to alternative lifestyles. Or actually, this goes for dating period, but especially alternative stuff because it can get a little bit murky in the waters, right? Everyone has to be of age, of sound mind. Okay, no one's being taken advantage of, right? So I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, is this the case? And if anyone is like too fragile or too like they have a lot of issues that they haven't worked on and they're feeling like kind of taken advantage of, then that's not the right person, I believe, to be in this. You got to be a strong person to be in this thing. Can you imagine the person that you love and you wake up to every morning rolling over and going to another room or rolling over and kissing somebody else? That it's just, it takes a certain chutzpah, right? A certain something. So anyway, so Tiger is, she's since Kenya is in the process of looking for someone else. Oh, let me go back to what I was saying. So yeah, I was thinking like if she has two husbands, then okay, and then they're working that out. They've been together for a long time. Tiger's been with them for 10 years, but she's been still dating in between. So I don't really, so then that polyandry or is that just polygamy, right? Because it just seems like there's less rules and stuff like that. But yes, I'm dying to hear more about this husband, Carl, and how he's good with it and how how he deals with jealousy, or maybe he just doesn't feel jealous anymore. Maybe he's just been with her for so long. You know what I'm saying? Would you say, Barbara, Kenya and Carl were on Dr. Phil? Oh, interesting. Okay, thank you for that little bit of tea, everybody. So Barbara is spilling the tea in the chat, you guys. She said that they have been on Dr. Phil. So I'm going to have to look that up. Thank you for that, Barbara. I'm going to definitely have to look that up because maybe we can get a little bit more insight, because I'm like, how did they do it? And is there other, because it seems so polyandrous or or polygamous to me versus polyandrous. So if it's more polygamous, then everyone has the option to have other partners. And maybe that is the case, but they just choose not to go with other people. Maybe she's the only one that wants to be with other people. I don't know, but I feel bad for Tiger though, because Tiger's like really into her. And it's like, but I mean, you married somebody that you knew wasn't monogamous. So it's kind of like, what are you doing here to begin with? I mean, Tiger's a good looking guy. You see Tiger with those green eyes. He's got that dark skin and green eyes. Like this contrast, good looking guy, good teeth. Like you could have anybody. I mean, I don't, and girlfriend, she's not a spring chicken either, so he really must be like dyed in the wool in love with this woman. He does not want her dating anybody else. Would you say, Susan? I was not sure how parents could handle this. Oh, God, listen, could you imagine if that's your child? if your 20 something or 30 something year old son or daughter was to come home and be like, hey, I thought I was, I've had a great marriage for the past 7 years, but I decided to bring somebody else. I don't even like, yeah, see, that wouldn't work in my household. But I'm not, I'm trying, listen, trying to reserve judgment because we're still getting to know a lot of stuff. But it's hard to not like have those knee jerk reactions because it's just something that is so weird that we're not used to. So, even someone like myself, I'm from New York. Believe me, I have so many friends over the years and stuff like that that have alternative lifestyles. So, I mean, a lot of stuff doesn't shock me, but this is just one that I haven't come across like in my life, right? So let me see. Okay, so now we're back with Elisa. So she's at her mom's place and she has her mother scrolling on the online app looking for a man with her. And her mom's like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, what do you think about this? Can you imagine? Like, and her mom, and apparently that is her. Now, I'm guessing that's her stepmom because we see her dad a little bit later on in the episode, and her father said, "This is my second marriage," and she looks like the dad. She looks nothing like the mom. So I'm thinking that that's maybe her stepmom, and they just have grown up together for a long time, or she helped raise her or something like that. I don't know, but they're very close. And she's like, well, like I just feel like this will kind of like enhance my relationship. And she's like, aren't you, can't you just be happy with him? He's a good guy. And I'm like, oh my God. Her husband, I'm like, listen, dude, blink twice into the camera if you need to be rescued. But I don't know. I don't it feels like her husband is so uncomfortable with this, and like he's really just going along. And it's like, listen, he's no Brad Pitt. All right, let's be honest. That husband is no Brad Pitt, but you don't have to be. Look how many men get beautiful women all the time, like absolute dime pieces, and they look like trash. So it's not like he can't find somebody. I mean, he doesn't seem like he's broke. I mean, I don't know. Listen, whatever. But yeah, so now, one thing that is a dynamic in their relationship, since you guys, Susan and Barbara, are talking about the children in the chat, that's a good point because apparently his mother, and what's his name again? That's Mike, Elisa's partner. So Mike's mom knows about her cheating on him earlier on in the marriage. So his mother is not for her. Okay, she does not fuck with her. So I mean, and you can't blame her. If that were my child too, your child comes home and tells you that your marriage, which you thought was going good, come to find out that their partner cheats on them. That it feels like that you cheat on the family, right? So all right, now we got to get back to Vincent. So okay, so Kim is at the house with her husband. What's his name again? Dustin. So Kim and Dustin are at home, and Vincent comes over. So Vincent, he has his own kids and stuff, and his kids were very much involved with her kids, and it was like a blended family type of situation. And so they were dating or together or whatever, but she wanted to have more partners. And poor little Vincent, he's like the little wounded lamb of the episode of the series, right? So, and they broke up because of that, because he couldn't handle it. He wanted her to himself. And it's interesting because the husband, Dustin, was like, I really want to make sure that whoever, you get with, like, we'll be able to have what did he say? Like, we can like have a friendship, because he enjoyed like doing activities and stuff like that with him. And, it's just, I'm like, you want a friend? I mean, I would think that you would want someone to like be on the other side of town, and then, and apparently he wants a friend. I mean, this is like, we've heard some of the sister wives say like this too, right? I just want a best friend. I want somebody to kind of hang out with, and like, we can do laundry and cook for you together. I'm like, wow, okay. Okay. It's a very broad world out there. So he's feeling, you know, she wants him to get back with her. So I guess, does that mean she wants him to move back into the house? Um, you know, and she's letting him know, listen, if we get back together, I mean, hey, you know what the deal is. This is the way I live my life, and if you want me, you have to accept that I'm going to be with other people. And he's very insecure about the whole thing, but he seems like he wants to be with her. And um I don't know, this doesn't seem healthy. You know what I mean? It's different if everybody's like, okay, like I said, of age, sound mind, everybody's down with it, and they're going about their business. Then, I mean, vaya con Dios. I mean, right. Make it work. I mean, I guess, but this is not good. I think maybe you got, I don't know. I'm guessing, I'm thinking out loud with you guys. I mean, you got to find those unicorns that like don't have jealousy. I mean, it's just so human to be jealous. I mean, maybe listen, if there's anybody who is in specifically a polyandrous relationship, please leave your comments in the section and leave your comments in the comment section below, because we are dead curious. We want to know how this works. How do you guys get over jealousy, or do you just not feel jealous? I don't know. So now we get back to Tiger. So Tiger now says to Kenya that he wants to marry her. So it's like, okay, the plot is thickening. And she's like, Mary. And he's probably thinking, let me tie her down with this ring. Therefore, she'll stay with me. She don't give a damn about Carl. He'll stay over there in his little bedroom by himself on, playing games or something, whatever, all day. And I can have her to myself. And she's like, marriage, but marriage is about family. I mean, that's when families come together. That's not going to work. Like, she's like, I think her attitude is like, listen, I care about you, but you know what? You're a built-in lover, basically. Like, I mean, how else I don't know how else you would even describe it, right? So, he's terrified. You can see like he's panicked. Like, why now? Especially now that a television show has signed you up for this, why now have you decided that you want to marry her? You know what I mean? Is it, because of the TV show, or is it because, that she's, actively pursuing people and wants to move out of your bedroom? They've been sleeping together as a couple. They've just been nesting in her house while Carl is over there doing God knows what. I need to know how the bills are being split. Is this like a total, like a queendom, right? Where she just lays back and just like, they just completely pamper her. I don't know. Like, give us more. Give us more. Now, this could be a series that I could see like on Netflix, that where they just drop the whole freaking, the whole season in one day. I would binge the shit out of this. Okay. I'll watch it 3 or 4 times over. So now, the last one we have, the last scene is with Elisa. So she's looking at profiles online with her husband. Oh my God, you talk about like a very cringe-worthy moment. He looks so uncomfortable doing this. And I'm like, oh God, Mike, come on, right? So he's chewing glass as she's looking through her profiles, and then, she's ready to what did she say? Oh, so she's ready to talk about the second bedroom. So here she goes. She's like, okay, well, I just want to, communicate with you. Like, so if I go out of town or something, or if you go out of town, we have that second bedroom. So, I mean, I could just bring somebody back over in the second bedroom. Would you say Elisa seems to me is all about me? Yeah, well, I mean, when you can clearly see that your partner is not into this, I think people have to realize, I don't have any problem with this if people fully realize that you have a very small pool of people that you can choose from that will be able to accept this and not feel left out. Or I felt bad for him. I mean, I shouldn't feel too bad, because I mean, he can pick up his suitcase and walk out the door, but it doesn't ever make you feel good to see somebody, what to the heart feels like you're being cheated on right in front of your face, right? And there's really nothing you can do about it. But I mean, like I said, he's a man. He can pack a couple of boxes and his toothbrush and go someplace else if he doesn't like it. But it's just, I don't know. It's just too strange. So then he's like, well, yeah, I don't know if I really feel comfortable with that at this moment. He's like, you got a whole situation set up. Like, you're trying to bring somebody into our second bedroom? Like, hold on. We just now trying to ease into this. What are you talking about? Because it looks like right now, Elisa, or I guess that's how you say her name, Elisa doesn't have a second partner at the moment, but she's actively looking, right? So, and the name of the show is called Seeking Brother Husband. So I guess they're going to make sure that everybody is trying to find somebody. And I guess in order to make Kim and her husband fit into this equation, they're recycling someone that they already had. So maybe, because it's hard to find somebody. I would imagine, especially, I mean, especially for women to find men that are going to be down with it. Would you say, well, that is exactly what is happening? A way to cheat. I mean, yeah. I mean, it is like, I don't know. Maybe if you have a relationship where it's kind of like, well, you know what? We're good in this department and we've tried it all these years and we can't really make it solidly, but maybe part time we can be together, something like that. And then you're like, okay, well, you see other people, I see other people, but we'll still come together at some point or something. I mean, I guess, but not just like, I love you, my heart is burning in desire for you, and now I'm going to watch you bring somebody else into our house, move them into the second bedroom. Excuse me, I got to put my game boards and like extra, pillows and stuff like that. That's what that second bedroom is for, not for you to move a man into. Would you say, I'm sorry, I have to go. Oh, thank you so much, Barbara. Thanks for joining in. We'll see you next time. Okay, take care. So, yeah, I mean, he just doesn't want anyone in the house, period. And he's, very gently putting his little foot down. Maybe we should say we're putting his toe down, because I don't know what else this is. I mean, listen, honey, I had to come with my sister wife shirt on today, my sister wife sweater, because I didn't know what else to do. But yeah, that was the episode. I gotta seek in more. I'm gonna look up this couple, Kenya and Carl and Tiger, and find out what I can on this Dr. Phil episode. But yes, honey, this was magical. This was really, really good. So that's it, guys. Really interesting episode. Thank you so much for joining. Thanks for tuning in and stuff. Everybody in the chat, thank you guys. I will be here. If you do enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, all that good stuff. If you guys, and I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video that this is coming from an urban Native American perspective, a mixed perspective, and a secular perspective. So we will not be coming at anyone with any kind of biblical scriptures or anything like that. That's not how we roll on this channel. So we will be looking at this through the lens, through a unfiltered, dogmatic, non-dogmatic lens. And I think that will allow us to have a little bit more flexibility in our thinking, because we won't be thinking, oh, well, God says this or God says that. No, this is just people making decisions on how they want to have their relationships. And I'm fascinated. So I'm going to come back on very soon here in a couple of minutes. I'll be doing the review for 90 Day Fiance the other way. I will see you guys soon. Take care, stay safe, and chipisalacho.